Yeah, just put those names up here. We're ready. There was one question I had. I forget what it was now. Oh, yeah, with the candles. Sometimes people read. That's okay.
Shabbat Achim, come yachad. Let's light up the world, oh sisters and brothers, together with peace and love. Bring light to the world, oh brothers and sisters, and sing Hinei Matov. Nay, 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 umanayim. Yananay, yananay, umanayim. Yananay, yananay, Shabbat Achim. Shabbat Achim, come yachad.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
How good it is to join together as a caring community. And we welcome you to the Reformed Temple of Forest Hills for this Shabbat evening service. We're so happy to be able to be worshiping with you in person and to have people here on live stream as well, joining with us from all over the world, probably.
Who knows?
We have some little ideas about that. In any case, I'm Rabbi Erwin Goldenberg. I'm a retired rabbi. My last pulpits were in York, Pennsylvania, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. And I'm filling in for my colleague and friend, Rabbi Mark Kaiserman, and sharing the pulpit with Cantor Emily Wygod Pincus. We're going to begin our service now by bringing light into our evening with kindling of Shabbat lights, which may be found on page 120 in the brackets. And we invite Stephen Silverberg and Susan Gregg to the pulpit for these honors.
אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. קיבלנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת לחיים. 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 שבת שלום.
Please be seated. Well, I have greeted you. Now it's an opportunity for you to greet one another. You might choose someone near you who you do not know or do not know too well, and to greet them and welcome them to this Shabbat service. Well, it looks like we've made a lot of new friends. Let's turn now to page 127. Page 127 in the brackets. And we read responsively. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain.
On Shabbat,
we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. Continue with Lecha Dodi, welcoming in the Shabbat bride, which can be found on page 138. And we will be singing from sections 1, 2, 5, and stand at section 9.
Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, אל שבת, נקבלה. lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, אל שבת, נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, בשמחה ובצור לב, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי כלה לחדותי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לחדותי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה.
We remain standing for the call to prayer, which is found on page 146.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
We continue in the Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chachma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmarotehem barakir kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו וקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 157, at the bottom we read responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory.
May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages,
time and again we
overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace.
Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Page 158.
כיפת אדוני את יעקב, וגלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני,
Vishamru may be found on page 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בין ובין ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We turn now to the tefillah, the central section of our service, found on page 164, and please stand.
Adonai sfatai tiftach, Adonai sfatai tiftach, ufi agid tehilatecha, ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai sfatai tiftach, Adonai sfatai tiftach, ufi agid tehilatecha, ufi agid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Kolei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, וחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשלי עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים כל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Page 177. A prayer of thanksgiving together. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words,
for the awareness of our soul,
our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot.
And
We continue with the Shalom Rav.
on page 178.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata hu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim le'olam. V'tov beinecha livarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim le'olam. Tasim le'olam. Tasim le'olam. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael, b'shalom.
Let's pause for a moment of silent prayer, either reading from the Siddur, from the prayer book, or concentrating on the feelings you have in your heart. I'd like to mention that the cantor just sang a Ukrainian nigun in solidarity with our family in Ukraine, which includes a sizable Jewish community. So we think of them after our silent prayer every Shabbat in Reformed Temple of Forest Hills. And now we're going to continue with the Torah service with a little bit of learning. And I call upon David Golden to join us for the opening of the Ark, and we're going to be on page 364.
Ki mitzion teitzei Torah, ki mitzion teitzei Torah, udivar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch Shem Natan Torah, Torah, Baruch Shem Natan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai iti, Unirob Shemo Yachtav, Lecha Adonai HaGedula v'HaGevura v'HaTiferet v'HaNetach v'HaHod, Kichol b'shamayim u'va'aretz, Kichol b'shamayim u'va'aretz, Lecha Adonai HaMamlacha v'yamim
please come to the pulpit for the Aliyah.
So, we are going to be reading from the beginning of Parshat Noach, and that is on page 59 in your Plaut commentaries. And we'll be starting with the very beginning of the Parsha, which is chapter 6, verse 9.
Baruch hu Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Amen. Eile Toledot Noach, Noach, Ish Tzadik, Tamim Haya B'dorotav, Et HaElohim Hitalech Noach. Vayiveled Noach Shlosha Banim, Et Shem Et Cham Ve'et Yafet. Vatishachet Haaretz Lifnei HaElohim, Vatimale Haaretz Chamas. Vayar Elohim et haaretz v'hinei nishchata ki hishchit kol basar et darko al haaretz. Vayomer Elohim leNoach keit kol basar ba lefanai ki malaa haaretz chamas mipneihem v'hineni mashkitam et haaretz. Aseh lecha tevat atze gofer kinim ta'aseh et hateva v'chafarta ota mibayit u'michutz bakofer.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher natan lanu Torat Emet V'chayei Olam Nata B'tochenu Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is customary with the Torah before us to recite Mishaberach, special blessings. And one of the most famous is the Mishaberach for healing, which we can find on page 300 and, let's see, page 371 in the middle of the page. We have some people in our congregation and in our community who are in need of physical, emotional, or spiritual support, and we recite their names now. Elaine Wohl, Jamie Stern, Leah Stern, Joan Lipton, Arlene Green, Roberta Traeger, Jody Ann Herman, Judith Locasio, Rochelle Weinberg, Don Levy, Larry Bloom, Arnold Gilbert, Barbara Gilbert, Jane Levy, Brenda Levinson, Debbie Ball, Jody Harkavi, Lauren Nagel-Krosny, Renee Weisbaum, and Jenny Davidowitz. If any of you wish to mention someone who you're thinking of at this time, either here or online, please, online, of course, you can write their names down in the chat room here. Please follow my eyes and recite the name for us. The Misha Berach.
Mishaberach avotenu mikor haberacha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikor haberacha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Would Michael Rosenberg and Susan please come forward?
Susan
for the-
Grunberg.
Yes. It's heavy.
It's caught here. It's caught here. No, no, I know. It's caught there.
Please stand.
V'zot Torah asher sa Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. V'zot Torah asher sa Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai lai yai lai 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 yai lai 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 ya la lai la lai yai lai 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 yai lai 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 la lai yai lai lai yai lai 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 yai la lai 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 la lai lai ya la lai la lai yai lai lai ya la lai.
And we return the Torah to the Ark with Eitz Chaim He, which is on page 374.
Eitz Chaim Hi, Lamachazikim Ba, Betom Chera, Meru
be seated. We did not translate the Torah for you, but there is one very significant section in there, one phrase that I'm going to focus on today that will be enough for having read the Torah in Hebrew. The story is that of Noah, and it describes Noah in this way: Ish Tzadik Tamim, Haya B'dorotav, a righteous man in his own age or in his own time. Question is this a compliment or is it a criticism of him? Does the Torah mean that Noah was only righteous in his very corrupt society compared to them, but compared to any other normal society, he would be just a usual kind of a citizen? The sages seem to think that it means at least in his own time, Noah did the right thing. The rabbis are saying that even though he may have only been righteous in comparison to his own awful time, we should admire Noah because he did not let the perfect destroy what would be possible. He was one who did stand up to his own community and to the whole known world. Sometimes we feel as though we're drowning. Sometimes we look for people who are righteous, find a few righteous in our own time. Unfortunately, we feel, I do anyway, overwhelmed by what seems to be a dangerously divided society. Being righteous seems to make no difference at all. In fact, some Americans find rudeness and crudeness to be attractive. Insults and name-calling substitute for decent conversation. So many of us despair and we just drop out of the conversation and out of political activity. Some years ago, I read a story, a cartoon by Jules Pfeffer, which sums up at least my feelings, and I think the feelings I hear expressed throughout our country. And the story goes on like this. One night, as Harvey W. Noah, government worker, was asleep, he was visited by an angel. "You don't know me, Harvey W. Noah, but I'm here from heaven, where somebody gave me your name and told me to give you this message of special interest." Whereupon, the angel proceeded to explain that soon the earth would be deluged with 40 days and 40 nights of atomic rainfall, at the end of which there would be left no living creature on land or in the sea, and that Harvey W. Noah has been chosen to gather from over the world 2 of every living thing, and that he was to build an ark on which those creatures would live, and that they would be the sole survivors of the flood. What a screwy dream, thought Harvey W. Noah, and he went back to sleep, only to be awakened the next morning by a telegram being slipped under his door. "This is to confirm your hallucination of last night. Proceed as directed, RE conversation pertaining to deluge." So Harvey W. Noah now had a mission. But what can one man do, he asked himself. So he took the problem to his government supervisor, who said, "This is all very interesting, Mr. Noah, but deluges don't fall under the jurisdiction of our department. I suggest we send this over to the Navy." And the Navy said, "Well, Mr. Noah, atomic rainfall is not actually the legitimate concern of the Navy Department. Why don't we kick this over to the Atomic Energy Commission?" And the Atomic Energy Commission said, "Well, frankly, we all think it's a bluff. But anyhow, let's take it to the Secretary of State, who said, 'Does this heaven realize it's dealing with the United States government?' A fact committee was set up. Mr. Noah was interrogated. "How long, Mr. Noah, have you been carrying on with angels?" "We warn you, sir, it will go easier with you if you're honest." A report was issued. Now, the Noah version of the angel's telegram uses the phrase, "two of everything." Of course, it's clear from the loose wording the term living thing is here symbolic of man, who is, after all, the highest form of living thing. Therefore, the telegram should read, "two of every kind of man." A special committee issued a report on the report. Now, two of every kind is obviously unnecessary. It's obviously a wasteful duplication. We will not use the excuse of dire times to engage in pork barreling. The telegram should be amended to read, "one of each best kind." Well, a group of psychologists determined those most emotionally necessary to the healthful building of a stable society. And selections began. The president gave his opinion that each state should decide for itself. And so federal loans were arranged so that each state could build its own ark. Then one night, as Harvey W. Noah was asleep, "Harvey W. Noah, this is the angel again. Boy, what a mess you've made out of things. It's the last time I'm going to tell you anything." And when Harvey W. Noah looked out the window, the following morning he saw rain. The arks were quickly loaded. The passengers were recorded as they walked up the gangplank. One doctor, here. One philosopher, here. 50 atomic scientists, here, here, here. One nonconformist, present. One forlorn man with packed bags comes before the captain of the ark, who asks, "Who?" And the man answers, "Harvey W. Noah. Sorry, bud, you're not on my list." And as the ark pulls away from the dock, Noah, left behind, took one last look at the telegram he had received so many weeks ago and puts it on his head to protect him from the rain. That's the way the ball bounces, reflected Harvey W. Noah, and he went home. Sound familiar? Feel familiar? Don't we often feel helpless before inflexible bureaucracies? I just had 4 hours trying to get through to various people for my doctor. 4 hours on the phone. Unfortunately, we feel helpless not just because of inflexible bureaucracies, but immoral, immovable powers and willful ignorance among so many forces that easily could drive us to despair. But I believe that we do have power over our own lives, especially in a democracy. The Noah story teaches us, after all, that one man did save the world by refusing to give in to despair. After all, when has despair produced anything positive? I think of all of those Americans who will not vote by November 8th, but after the elections they'll complain about how terrible the leadership is. It's true that as individuals we may not be able to be of great influence over the choice of government and humane policies, but we can exert the powers that we do have by voting with like-minded Americans. We can at least be like Noah, who was righteous in his own time, and do what we can to improve our world now, at least to try. This is what our rabbis, I believe, meant when they implored us, saying, it's not for us to complete the work, but neither is it for us to desist from it altogether. Amen and Shabbat Shalom. Oh, we have simchas, especially after that one. We should do some simchas. If you have had something occur, oh, you need it. Okay. Thank you. If you have had something that's occurred during the week or will be coming up shortly that is blessing your life, something that's a little important, and that you would like to share with us, I would really appreciate hearing from you, and I think everybody would. So I'll move around the sanctuary, and please give us your name first.
David Golden. My oldest daughter, Michelle, will be 22 on Tuesday.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Kimmler. My husband is celebrating his birthday next week at a number that we will not discuss, but and then also a week from Sunday, we're leaving on our trip to Australia. We'll be back the day before Thanksgiving.
They're going to see their daughter in Down Under. Wonderful. He's only 39. We know that. He and Jack Benny.
Scott, they did midnight, people did midnight run. I couldn't join them, but I'm very happy that it happened.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Smiley, and I'm going to follow up on what Scott just said. I was involved with Midnight Run, and also other people in the temple were too. And I want to just report that we gave away everything that we had collected, and people were enormously grateful. We made over 120 sandwiches. They all left. Nothing came back, and clothing all was distributed to very happy and grateful people. So I thank everybody.
These are, in case you don't know, homeless people.
Hi, I'm Bertie Traeger. I would like to introduce you to Kennedy. This is her first time at the Reformed Temple of Forest Hills. She's from Elmhurst, a little ways down the road, and she's never been to our synagogue. And this is Rabbi Erwin Goldenberg, who's filling in for Rabbi Mark Kaiserman. But this is Kennedy. Don't be embarrassed.
Welcome.
And she's likes it. She came the first time.
Wonderful to have you. There are two of us here who go, there are at least two of us who live in the Kennedy Center, so we love that name.
Hi, I'm Gwen Leifer, and my eldest filed his first college applications.
I'm Aaron, and yesterday my school had its first ever lockdown drill. Yay.
First ever lockdown drill. Isn't that wonderful? That tells us that's that's a real
Staying
blessing,
safe.
isn't it? Mm.
Staying safe.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
One more.
So we can now continue with the conclusion of our service, page 586, the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המולם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We think now of all of those who, some of whom used to stand with us here at services or elsewhere, particularly as you may have been growing up and maturing. We think of them in our hearts, for they are not with us physically. And so we remember those whose yahrzeit occur at this time of year. Bertha Arian, Ralph Berger, Bertha Bernstein, Sally Burns, Lola Chameen, Marilyn Dean, Frank Diamond, June Penny Eberlin, Sylvia Freed, Leonard Friedman, Mary Gallet, Edward Glickman, Renee Gloger, Gloria Golden, Molly Goldstein, Harold Goodman, Joseph Greenbaum, Hattie L. Hamburg, David Hammer, Barry Harris, Etta Hershkowitz, Eva Hoffman, Margaret Katz, Selma Keller, Arthur Kent, Dorothy Krasno, Arthur Lehman, Robert Levy, Barnett Liebman, Barbara Locasio, Jesse Mohel, Arthur Moskowitz, Barry Nathanson, Judith Poretz, David Rabin, George Resnick, Ralph Rosa, Millie Rosenbaum, Honey Rosenblatt, Celia B. Rubenstein, William Rush, Jerry Sexer, Bertie M. Shore, Robert Silverberg, David Solomon, Sanford Stein, Mela Wall, David Ward, Zachary Wellman, Harry Wexler, Molly Wolkowski, Alan Wolner, Ruth Zenar, Harold Zweighaft. We remember those who were laid to rest during the past month. Ruth Scheidlauer, David Ornstein, Rabbi Shalom Miller. And we remember today the anniversary yesterday of the loss of 11 Jewish members of the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who were murdered by a terrorist. And if you have someone whom you are thinking of now who is not on this list, I ask you to offer that name now. Kaddish may be found on page 598. Please stand. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, b'yolmad divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'agalav v'zman kariv imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam lo me'amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shmei dekudshah b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Ta'amiran bi'olma v'yimeru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shmaya. V'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimeru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to Israel, and to all humanity, to which we say,
Amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'yimeru, amen.
Please be seated. Would our Vice President, Andy Kimmler, please come forward for the announcements?
Good evening, everybody. Firstly, I want to thank our clergy for another spirited Shabbat. Rabbi, thank you for pinch hitting tonight. Your sermon was very moving and timely. Thank you. Likewise, I want to thank our musicians for another wonderful accompaniment. Joe and Bonnie, you grace us with your music every Shabbat service. We have a lot going on. First, I would like you all to know that we are going to be honored on November 9 with a presentation, a special presentation by a journalist, Ida Prince Gibson, who will be speaking about Israel's 5th election. They keep going on. And she is a very learned journalist. She was the former editor-in-chief of the Jerusalem Report, and she will be presenting here and also live stream. I also want to announce the resumption of Forest Hills Chamber Music. We will be featuring Ari Evan, and he will be performing with his group on December 18th and February 26th. If you recall, they performed a few years ago. We had an interruption in between, but they'll be back. The music is wonderful. Please try to attend the program. Sponsors are welcome. Contact the cantor if you're so inclined. Stay tuned for more information in your e-blast. And I just want to end with some comments that are reflective, I believe, of what Rabbi shared with us. I'm a student of history, and I read a great deal about Abraham Lincoln. I would therefore like to share some of President Lincoln's wisdom that I recently read in the context of the world that he was dealing with and a lot of politicians that were yelling at one another all the time. And he said, and I found this very moving, when I'm getting ready to reason with a man, I spend 1/3 of my time thinking about myself and what I am going to say, and 2/3 thinking about him and what he's going to say. And he noted, I am rather inclined to silence, and whether that be wise or not, it is at least more unusual nowadays to find a man who can hold his tongue than to find one who cannot. We can only hope that all of our elected officials come to understand the value of listening instead of yelling. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
A Women's Connection brunch on Sunday. Yes, Judy. 9:30. Be here.
Very good, okay. Would anyone like to join me to make the mozi? We don't have any children in the room. Come on, join me to make mozi. You sat up close, so...
Awesome.
Not too long a walk.
Alan and Judy, terrific. Young at heart. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem mil haaretz b'te'avon. Te'avon, bon appetit. And we close with Adon Olam, which is on page 625 in the brackets in your Sidurim. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Le'id Na'asha V'chefso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hove Ve'hu Yeh B'tifara Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Le'id Na'asha V'chefso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hove Ve'hu Yeh B'tifara והוא אחד ואין שני להמשילו להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה והוא אלי וחי גולי וצור חבלי בהישרה והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום מקרב Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Le'id Na'asha V'chefso Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu Hove Ve'hu Yeh B'tifara בידו הפקיד רוחי והייתי שן והעירה ועם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא יירא שבת שלום שבת שלום שבת שלום ומבורך שבת שלום שבת שלום שבת שלום ומבורך Adon Olam Asher Malach
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.